What's up, family? Welcome to Mix and Mingle. I'm Max Mitchell with my illustrious co-host and longtime friend, the man himself, Brother Cardas.
How is everyone tonight?
This podcast, we're going to take a deep dive with the DJs bringing the heat on Real House Radio. We're not just talking about beats. We're talking about journeys, inspirations, and the lives behind the music. And today, we're kicking things off in style with someone truly special. This man isn't just a DJ. He's the foundation of Real House Radio. Our first guest is the founder and resident DJ, a musical visionary. Born in Harlem NYC. This legend, and I say that loosely, moved to the Lower East Side at the age of 10, where his obsession with sound began. By junior high school in 1977, he was already on the tables, laying down beats and moving crowds. Fast forward to 1998, he traded the New York hustle for the Bay Area chill vibes. And today, when he's not spinning, you'll find him running Progressive Fitness Training Center, keeping people physically and mentally in tune. Family, it's an honor to welcome the founder of Real House Radio, the real one, Tee ReaL.
DJ Tee ReaL.
Oh,
thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to have you on Mix and Mingle, brother.
Oh, thank you. Hey, I'm honored. I'm honored to be here and to be a part of this. This is outstanding. Thank you so much for that powerful introduction, Max. Appreciate it.
There was a tone, though. I want to say, I do have to say, there was a little bit of a tone there. I think he was being grateful that you joined us. I think that he was being really appreciative. But
I felt that.
You felt that?
Okay. Oh, I felt that. It came through.
It came through. Okay.
It came through. I
wanted to
thank him.
There you go.
Because we know how Max could be. So to hear Max do his genuineness right there, it was touching.
I mean, there were flowers. There were definitely flowers.
There was.
Real.
And I really appreciate it.
All real. Right out
Thank you guys for having me. Really.
It's our pleasure, brother. Our honor. Right out the gate, brother. 1986 in the sports world. What does that mean to you?
Oh, man. I always tell people that other than my son being born, greatest year of my life as a sports fan. That was the year that my boys put it together finally in 1986 and won the World Series. I mean, really, just from a sports standpoint, that year was phenomenal for me. I mean, I think I told you, I attended like 30 home games that year. 30. I mean, there was stretches like homestands where I was at the stadium every night. You know what I'm saying? I like for every game of a series. It was just incredible. And because I was alive for 69, but I was young, But because it's such a thing for me, I do remember it. Even though I was young at the time, I remember 69. So to be able to be an adult in 86 and really throw myself in it the way I wanted to, phenomenal. 30 home games. I went to all 3 playoff games against Houston at Shea at the time. I went to 1 in Houston. I went to game 1, game 3, and game 7 of the World Series. I was all the way in it.
It doesn't get better than that. It doesn't get better than that.
Was great.
And as we're recording tonight, game 1 of the National League Championship Series is set to begin in a little while. So I know I'm looking forward to it. T, I can only imagine you are as well.
Yeah, man. I was telling you before. It's a lot for my heart now. I can't. I'm hanging on every pitch. Every pitch is like, it's draining. By the time the game's over, I'm exhausted, man. I mean, it's like I played. It's exhausting.
That is so awesome.
So T, you're the founder of Real House Radio. What
Yes.
inspired you to start that venture?
You know, it came at a time where, you know, podcasting and all of that was starting to kind of take off. And I was fortunate enough to hook up with another internet radio station at the time. Shout out to House of Genre. I was a DJ on their station for about a year, and this is no, you know, on them, but I just felt like they were playing more for themselves than trying to grow the music and the audience for house. You know, they were house. Everybody was about house. That part was great, but it felt a little enclosed. Like, you know, when you do a set, it was only other DJs from them in the chat. You know, I didn't see any outside people. I didn't see any people being drawn to it. So I was like, you know, I didn't want to seem too, hey, you know, hey, we should be doing this and we should be promoting it this way. You know, I didn't, because it wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? So how I am about those kind of things is like, let me put my money where my mouth is and just do it for myself. And in this way, if it doesn't succeed or whatever, I can't blame nobody. It's only on me. So then that's when I broke off from House of Genre and said, I'm just gonna start my own thing and see if it grows. And I knew of DJs like yourself, Max, who knew C. So it kind of blossomed from there, you know, where I simply told you at the time, I was like, hey man, let's play, and I'll take care of the promotion and pumping it. You just come on and do your thing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how it grew. You know what I mean? So for people who had the love for the music and wanted others to hear it. You know, it gets a little whack playing for each other because we know the tunes, we know, you know, let's play and try to bring some people to it, people who love it or people who don't even know about it for that matter. So that's kind of where Real House came from. You know what I mean?
I have to tell you, I appreciate your thought process and your approach there, because while there are a lot of different Mixcloud users out there that are playing various things, I think what Real House Radio brings is it brings a vast array of different DJ perspectives, right?
Yes.
So it isn't, we're not hearing the same music the same way all the time, which is something that I have appreciated just listening to everyone else that plays on Real House Radio.
Right. And that's what I was hoping for, because there are a lot of different forms of house, a lot of different genres within house. And if people have their preferences and if you play that and people go, oh, I never really heard it that way before. I never heard that style of house before. That's what I feel is what's bringing the audience to Real House. And we're growing quite nicely. I mean, we're growing organically at a very nice pace.
And I'll ask you a little later, you know, for the plugs and, you know, where can we catch it on Mixcloud, on Instagram, and we'll do that at the end. But I have to tell you, I've truly enjoyed listening to everyone. And you know, I think because everyone brings that different element, it's also so refreshing.
Right, and that's why, like, if you listen to our intro, we try to list all the different things in house. It's not just one thing, you know what I mean? There's garage house, there's deep house, there's soulful house, it's different house, and luckily, all of us as DJs are bringing those different elements to the station, which is, I think, again, kind of sets us apart, and I think that's what's kind of getting people's ear and like, oh, yo, all these cats are banging, and it also from the standpoint, and that's why I use the moniker hottest bedroom DJs on the planet, because not every DJ is fortunate enough to play festivals and get residencies in Vegas and playing all the hot clubs, it don't mean that these DJs ain't good. So I'm hoping to give people an avenue, and they understand that, yo, these aren't guys you heard before. These ain't guys who are arrangers on your house tracks and producers of your house tracks. These are dudes who just love the music, and like, let me show you how much I love it. This is how I play in my bedroom. I'm not trying to. I just play for the love of the music, which makes us the hottest bedroom DJs on the planet.
Brother, I got to say, you have been doing an outstanding job on that platform, curating DJs. You mentioned genre. Is there any particular genre that you enjoy playing?
It's funny. I would say, which is funny because I don't really do it often, but a lot of the old school house. And again, that's more or less because that's what I came up listening to and what first drew me to love house. So I would always say you can never beat the classics. But I also want to try to grow it, because there's a generation of cats that ain't heard none of the shit that we used to play. You know what I mean? Let's just be realistic. They not hearing none of the stuff that we heard, but they know of house. So it has to grow. It has to, it has to evolve. So that's really, what I try to do now. So I don't necessarily say I have a favorite. If I have a favorite, a listening favorite, it would be the old school house. But now I try to listen to all house new that's coming out and seeing if anybody's really capturing that essence, of where house started and how that came to be. And every now and then you catch a gem, but that's what you got to do. You got to keep listening and appreciating it, and then popping it, and then these cats hear it and they're like, oh, okay, well, I could do something like that. And then I think that's what keeps the genre evolving. But for me, yeah, old school, can't beat it. It's where it came from.
And T, you and I had this conversation. And what would you say to someone today that feels that house music has become stagnant, that we're not hearing a lot of new, innovative music coming out of the house scene?
I would have to respectfully disagree. I think there is some stuff out there, not a lot. Everybody's not pumping out a banger, and people got to realize too. Back in the day, there was a lot of garbage too. We didn't listen to everything, and when we did try to listen to everything, some stuff we were like, good try. You know what I'm saying? We knew what was good and what was bad. So I think what happens is you got to get gems, and there's going to be gems as we go along. We just got to find them. We just got to dig through the crates like we used to. You dig through the crates. I heard a statistic that at least 4,000 tracks are released per week. So somebody's pumping out this music, but again, every one of them is not going to be a winner. Got to sift through, find that gem, and then that gem becomes the classic, and that becomes the one you go, oh, yes, that one. Yes, let's hear that one, which is what happened to us back in the day. We just happened to hear the gems. I'm pretty sure every shit that came out wasn't a winner. You know what I'm saying? So what we heard and what we got caught up on were the gems. So we have to be the miners. We got to mine the mines and find those gems and pump them out there. And we do that. Hopefully we do that on Real House.
Well said, brother. Well said.
Very well said. Couldn't agree with you more.
You're the also into physical fitness. Tell us about your journey, particularly weight training, and how it affected your life. I've been in fitness.
I've been in fitness. This is my 34th year, going on 35. I've been in it since 88, man. Like making a living at it. I was in it before that for myself, working out, what have you. Always loved that. But as far as earning a living at it, Been earning a living at it since 1988. This is what I do. You know, I mean, this is, you know, it allows me to do my DJ thing. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I can do my DJ thing, is because of fitness. So always loved it. I loved it for me, and I was just fortunate enough to be a person who can convey it to others. And then that's how the whole personal training, personal fitness thing evolved. And then, you know, I've worked for every company. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not bragging and I'm not exaggerating. I've pretty much worked for every major fitness company in this country at some point in my career. Again, 34 years. It's not feasible that I could have done that.
You were back in the day with Jack LaLanne, huh?
Okay, let's not see why you doing
The health club. The health club.
Bro. No. Oh, okay, yeah. No, I never worked for the club once he had the chain of spots. Didn't do Jack LaLanne. I thought you was trying to cap on my age there.
No.
You was gonna have a problem. Man.
We the same, brother.
Okay. No, but I wasn't fortunate enough. I wasn't fortunate enough to work for the Jack LaLanne chain. They actually kind of went under based on the clubs that I started working for, kind of put them out of business, which was kind of ironic. But I've worked for all the major ones at some point in my career on the East and West Coast now. So fitness is what I do. I love it. I love putting it to people. I love changing lives. You know, that's what I used to say to the trainers that work for me, that used to work under me at the different clubs. I was maybe fitness manager or lead fitness trainer. And I would tell, you know, my trainers, this is the only profession besides a doctor where you can actually change someone's life. You got to take that responsibility seriously. I mean, yeah, we don't use scalpels and cut in the bodies, but we can change a person's life by getting them on the right track from a health and fitness standpoint. And I feel like that's an awesome responsibility. And I'm just proud and beaming that I've been able to do it for as many years as I have.
Is there any noteworthy experiences throughout your career? Something that stands out?
I've trained a few celebrities. I've gotten to be the fitness guy on the Today Show in New York. I got to be the fitness guy on the Today Show here in California. It's definitely afforded me some real special opportunities and special things, and I got to meet some special people because that's the thing about fitness. Everybody needs to do it. You know what I mean? So it opens you up to meeting a lot of people, different walks of life, a lot of different things. So I've trained Linda Lavin, who used to play Alice.
Yes, she
was a client of mine. Lauren Hutton, I trained the model actress. I used to train. I trained Madonna for a second. You know, no big deal. You know, I just happened to be the trainer that was available for her. So, but I was able to train her. Trained a couple of Dallas Cowboys back in the day. So, like I said, it is this business, this industry affords you the opportunities to meet and greet, you know, a lot of different people and be into a lot of very cool situations. You know, there's some things that, you know, are really not suited for this airwave, but yeah, I'll tell you about those things offline.
We're keeping it NC-17.
Yes. I'll share those stories offline with you at some point.
I gotta ask. I never heard the backstory in regards to the music video that you were in. Tell us the backstory. You never told me.
Hawaiian Sophie, was it?
Yes, Hawaiian Sophie it was. Yes, it was Jazz and his partner Jay-Z at the time. A young Jay-Z was Jazz's partner. That's how they first, Jazz and Jay-Z first came to being. He was Jazz's right-hand man at the time. And I mean, it really just kind of a dumb luck situation. I was just in the right place at the right time. I was working out at the gym, doing my normal. The casting person for videos and for that particular video happened to be at the gym. Was like, yo, you do any acting? And I was like, Yeah, nah, I mean nothing formal. Every now and then a little TV appearance and stuff because I do fitness, whatever. And she said, well, you want to come down? We're looking to cast somebody for a music video. She didn't give the particulars. She just gave me the address. Went down. And I don't know if it was just the time of it or what happened, but I was like the only one there. Like there was no other cats there. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, kind of brings up my chances a little bit. Yeah, I'm not really fighting for it. So I was like, all right, cool. And she was like, oh yeah, how you doing? I was like, yeah, I came down, check it out. She goes, can you be here tomorrow morning at 8? I was like, oh, so I'm in. She was like, yeah, great, come on down. And that's how I got to be in it. It was cool. I mean, I was the barefoot eating coconut giant in the movie, in the video rather. But it was weird because once the video came out, and it was a little popular at the time too. The song was kind of popular at that moment. It wasn't a classic or anything like that, but it was popular at the time. And I'm in Brooklyn and I'm passing a schoolyard and the kids are out for for their break or they're doing gym or whatever was happening in the schoolyard at that time for them. And this little kid sees me and he goes, yo, you the giant dude from Hawaiian Sophie, right? And I was like, yeah. He goes, yo, man, how you let that dude beat you? I was like, dude, it's not my video. I was like, I'm just a character in the song. In the song, he beats the giant. That's the whole deal. He was, yo, you're like twice that guy's size. How'd you let him do that? I was like, it's a video, son. It's a video. Don't worry. I said in real life, I would have killed him. But I was like, hey, it's a video. So it's all good. But it was an interesting experience. And it was kind of, like I said, it buzzed for a little while. And then it disappeared, which is kind of how I wanted it to be. Ken Burns. That's kind of what I wanted to happen with that. I just kind of fades off into the,
Unfortunately,
no, Ken Burns here wants to bring it back up. Okay, thank you. Okay.
I will say, T, that unfortunately, at least at the time of this recording, we don't have any images to share. However, post-production, we might be able to sneak a peek at
my disappointment.
The real one.
I have no idea of my disappointment.
Big giant.
Plastic.
Oh my! The disappointment. I would have loved to have shared that with the fans.
Oh, we will.
It was a good time though. It was a nice, memorable moment. And like I said, it comes up every 20 years or so. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Max. Appreciate
it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me ask you about subgenres again of house.
Sure.
Within it, do you think there are any subgenres that should come back or any subgenres that should go away?
I never feel like anything should go away. I mean, what happens is that it doesn't do well, or it's not popular, and it'll just fade. I don't think it needs to necessarily go away. I think, as everything, the cream rises to the top. So whatever's hot, that's what'll be hot. But as far as top genre, that's really hard. I think long as you stay true to the baseline element of house, and then you want to put something on that, you want to put a little funk or stank on it or whatever, you want to call it, I think that's what will determine the subgenre of it. But it still has to have the underlying currents of what made house house. Otherwise, it's not house. Do you know what I mean? So, I'm really digging the whole UK garage house sound right now. That's kind of what I'm grooving to a little bit more often now. I'm fortunate enough to play on a UK station, a station that comes out of the UK that does house. And the thing was, it's funny because when they asked me if I wanted to play sets, I thought they wanted me to solely play garage house UK stuff, which I wouldn't have had a problem with. But the program director for them was like, no, just play whatever you play. We've heard your stuff on that you do on Real House. So no, play whatever you want to play. We want to introduce our UK audience to that sound from across the pond. So I was like, oh, well, cool. I can appreciate that. But I would not have had a problem if they wanted me just to play, UK garage. Because I like it. I'm liking what they do, what they're trying to do. And I see the spin that they're putting on it, on house. So I'm digging it. So I think if I'm digging a particular subgenre right now, it would probably be UK garage. And notice I say garage because that's how they say it. They don't say garage. We're used to saying garage, because of Paradise and all that. But in the UK, it's garage.
You brought up funk. Brother C, he's also a lover of the funk in house music, as he mentioned it to me before.
I brought you some funk yesterday.
I enjoyed your set last night. I didn't get a chance today for the rewind, but it is on my list for tomorrow morning when I go out.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely went funk on that one. So yeah, hopefully you appreciate it. Let me know.
Yeah. I appreciated what I caught of it. I definitely did.
Oh, okay,
I definitely did.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The same token, we want to thank Brother C for that funky intro that he laid down there.
Yes, that was a funk intro. Yes, that was a funk house intro. Very nice. Very nice.
Appreciate it.
Felt at home. I felt at home there. Thank you.
So speaking of funk, what do you feel is the perfect BPM for house music?
Wow, that's a great question. I personally like to stay between 125 to 130 max. For me personally, I feel like that's kind of the true house BPM. Like 125 to 130. And that's and us talking about garage house. Their stuff is like 130 to 145, which is like, I'm like, ooh, that's got a little speed to it when you listen to it. Like when I first heard it, it was kind of jarring. I was like, oh, that's a little Mickey Mouse sounding. You know what I mean? It had that kind of high, fast thing was going. But then the more I listened to it, and then I saw how they worked around that, I was like, oh, that's clever. Okay, I see why you need it at that speed, because it does give it a different kind of flavor. So, but me personally, I like to try to stay between 125, 130. Does that sound about right?
It does.
I mean, I'm talking to two DJs.
Me personally, I live between 122, 125, 126. That's why I go back to what we were talking about earlier, where everyone brings their own style and their own element to Real House Radio.
There you go.
Yeah, it all
I just feel like 125, 130, gives you a little bit of that dance feel. You feel like you want to dance to it, but also too, if you want to chill to it, you can. You know what I mean? That's why I think when you get below 125, it's more. I feel like it's a more listening type groove when you get below 125. But if you stand at 125 to 130, you can groove, but you can also dance. And I think that's kind of why I kind of stay in those numbers.
Style and flair was mentioned. In your opinion, what makes a DJ's performance memorable and genuine?
It's a good question. It's a good question, man.
That is a very good question.
I feel like, again, I always have to preface these things with, this is how I feel. I'm not saying this is how it is, and that's that. But personally, I don't think the DJ should be the point of reference in it. I really think the music needs to be that, to be out front. Not the DJ, not flicking, not scratching, and that's great for hip hop, that genre of hip hop. Yes, scratching and all that, that's part of what it is. And now you really have to be about the DJ's flair and pizzazz. But I really think with house, it's about what the DJ plays more than what the DJ is necessarily doing. You know what I mean? And it goes to my my idol in DJing was David Mancuso, who did not mix. He didn't mix. Mm-hmm. He let a record play till you heard the needle popping. That to me was much more dramatic than a mix. Because what I think it allowed you to do was to enjoy the song you just heard. To like, it's almost like chewing food. He allowed you to chew it and take in the taste of it and enjoy it, the flavor, and then he let you swallow. And oh wow, that was good. Instead of me like, oh, that was good. Oh, the next one's happening already. Okay, I gotta get into the next one. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with mixing. I do it now. You guys do. We do it. We do mixing because that's kind of where the genre has gone now. You know, the way it is. But the kind of stuff that we were listening to back in the day was basically like we went to a record store, we bought the record, we put it on, we played it to the end, and we like took it off and we put the next one on. That's what we did. We didn't even fathom mixing a song into another song. What? That wasn't something. That wasn't even something that was happening on the radio. So why would we want to do that? So when you go to the loft and David plays some shit that's just, first of all, he's playing shit that's 9, 10, 15 minutes long.
Right.
First of all, I don't need no mixing. The song was long enough. You know what I'm saying? And then he would just let it play to the end and fade or whatever it did. And then the next song would come on. So it wasn't about his flair and his pizzazz as a DJ. It was his knowledge of what to play and when to play it. And I think that's what makes a DJ, knowing what to play and when to play it.
There's an old saying that it wasn't about the song that I thought I wanted to hear. It's about the one I didn't know I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think that's exactly really important. And I do appreciate your point specifically around the DJ being the show, right? Because if the DJ is curating a playlist and the songs, let the songs speak, let the songs tell the story. And I struggle with today's DJs, you know, with a lot of the younger DJs coming up, and I'm a big proponent of mixing, but I grew up on vinyl, as you can see, and today's DJs they use the electronic tools more so than the old-fashioned listening and learning the music. So I couldn't agree with you more. I think that DJing is more than pressing buttons. Unfortunately, a lot of the younger DJs that are coming up, that's what they perceive to be actually DJing. And music selection is really not a priority for them. It's them putting on a show, pressing buttons. Right.
And drops. And drops. Yo, turning the music off is a big deal. I'm like, holy shit, really? Me not hearing anything makes you a great DJ? Really? That's just so counterproductive to me. Yeah, I saw a video. I saw a video on YouTube about drops, about the DJ not playing music. I was like, wow, that's a thing? And apparently it is. I was like, what? One set of DJs, it was two guys playing. That's the crazy shit. Two guys playing together. Do a drop, right? They build, they do the build. The crowd knows the drop is coming. Oh, everybody's jammed up to the front because this drop is just gonna be tremendous. These dudes do the drop and leave. Leave the building. They film themselves getting in a cab and driving away when they left the drop. The crowd is still like, when they're gonna bring back the music? These dudes are in a fucking cab.
That is awesome.
Headed to the fucking airport. I'm like, holy shit.
That is amazing.
And they thought these dudes were the fucking end all as DJs. And I was like, wow.
That is amazing.
Shut off the music and you thought they were great. Unbelievable. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about, I don't really want it to be about me. I want you to go, oh man, he played that shit right there. He played that. That's the shit. I didn't, like you said, see, I didn't even know I wanted to hear that shit. But that's what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I feel a good DJ is. Not getting in a fucking cab and going to the airport. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Speaking of he played that. What's one house track that is timeless for you? One house track that's timeless.
Now, when you say house, do you mean house or do you mean club? What do you
classic house?
We're going into genres now, huh?
Yeah, classic. We're talking about a classic. You know, what are we talking about?
What do you want?
Timeless.
What do you want to narrow it down to?
Classic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Timeless classic.
Yeah, classic. Okay. I got 3.
Yeah. No, you do.
To be honest.
We all got multiple. Yeah.
You do.
Okay.
What do you got? Give us the 3.
Like, I'm talking about, I don't care when I hear it. I don't care how long ago it was when I hear it. It will always bring me to almost tears to hear. Okay. So I got 3. All right. One is Lonnie Liston Smith, Expansions. If I hear that, and it's original cut, and C and I've been going back with, remakes and classic, but I'm talking about the original on RCA, Black Label. Okay, understand what I'm talking about. I gotta bring it to that level.
Indeed.
I hear Expansions, I'm immediately transported back in time, like immediate. Like I said, I don't care where I hear it, what's going on at the time, immediately transported back in time. So Lonnie Liston Smith, Expansions. The cut off the 7 Deadly Sins soundtrack, Lust.
Oh, I have not heard that in time.
That shit. Oof. Okay, here's the thing. It's right there in the title.
Right.
That has to be the most sexually charged jam that I've ever heard. Like it's aptly named. Lust. It's aptly named. It's like it just makes you feel, you just feel, I feel sexy when I hear that jam. So that would be Lust from the 7 Deadly Sins soundtrack. And I think a tearjerker for me is City Country City from War. And I say tearjerker because it was and I don't believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't think there's a lot of people around who'll be able to argue with me about it. I mean, I don't know who's going to see our podcast, but I don't believe it was the last song that Larry played at the garage at the end. But it's the last song I remember him playing. So it might not have been the last song. And I'm sure everybody who was there for the last party will all say a different song. I'm sure they will. I'm sure everybody will go, no, he played so-and-so at the end. Okay, whatever. I just know for me, the last song I remember from that party, because I was there. That much I can say. I was there for the last party. It's City Country City. It has more of an emotional feel to it for me because that was the end of that era of the garage. But that song is those 3, without question.
I like.
Take me away as soon as I hear them. You know what I mean?
I concur.
That is a great. That is a great top 3.
Yeah, that's why I said I couldn't narrow it down to one. But those 3 for me, for sure. I'm dropping Lust, as a matter of fact, for my tribute.
Okay.
So I heard you say you hadn't heard it in a while. Stand by, brother. You're about to hear it again.
I will be listening. So now that you mentioned that, T, this podcast is going to air on Real House Radio just before your set next week on what is that day again? I'm sorry, what day was that again?
That's going to be Saturday. What will that be? The 19th, I believe. Saturday, October 19th.
October 19th.
Yes, at 8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern. So this podcast will get just before that.
Yes, there was some talk about other times. It's been worked out behind the scenes. I believe somebody that's right here on the podcast is going to intermediate and make sure that the time is set the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Am I correct in that assumption?
You are. Maybe you are. Yes.
Yes, you are. I call it out. I call it out because we're going to talk a little bit about the loft, and we'll go back in time in a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to make sure to shout out your set, because I know it's important to you. I know this is something that you've thought about doing for some time, and
yes.
As we discussed earlier, curating that playlist, putting
yes.
together your set, it's almost as fun as playing it live. So,
yes.
I can't.
I've been
wait.
working on this playlist for a while. I've been working on it as long as I first told you about it, Max. When you came to corporate headquarters and met with me.
Yes.
I told you then that I was going to do it. I have been working on the playlist since I told you I was going to do it.
Okay? That is awesome.
So it started out as a possible 2.5 hour set. It is now currently, and again, the day hasn't happened yet, so it could change. Currently, we're at 4 hours, because and that's with me like going, nah, not that one. Oh, I'd love to have that one. Oh yeah, I gotta have that one. Oh, not that one. So in doing all of that, it's still 4 hours. It could be 8, really, with the classics that we know of that got played in that loft era. But I'm trying to keep it reasonable. So right now we're at 4.
Looking forward to it, brother.
Yeah, man. I gotta drink my Gatorade for that one, bro.
Man.
I'll be working on that one. You gonna do what we used to do in old school? You're gonna go to sleep for a little bit, wait for the dance floor to clear off a little bit, and then come out and do
come
your
right
thing.
back
Is that
out.
what you're gonna do, Max? Because that's what you used to do back in the day. You used to catch some Z's.
Exactly.
Catch a few Z's.
Exactly.
Then, that's my jam. And then we get up and we do our thing.
Right back.
But,
yeah.
But I'm gonna have to get the Gatorade for this one. This is gonna be a workout.
So you got the 3 classic timeless tracks. Can you give us 3 dubs from the 80s and 90s that stand out?
Ooh. All right. I believe I said one of them already. I believe it was Music in the Streets. I feel like was one of them from back.
Do you remember where you were the first time you heard this?
Music in the Streets?
Yes.
First time I heard it was at the garage, actually.
It was.
Really?
Was the first time I heard it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's funny because I'm a loft guy.
Yeah.
Let me clarify that. I mean, I'm a garage and loft guy. I love the garage. I love Larry. But I just feel like a few of my better memories of that era just happened at the loft. Like people, certain people I met at the loft that I didn't meet at the garage, and certain experiences after the club happened when I was at the loft. You know what I mean? So I feel a little bit more of an attachment to loft. But I mean, no disrespect to the garage at all. Believe me, spent many Fridays in the garage. So let's not even try to front. You know what I'm saying? But yes, Music in the Streets.
We just happen to have that track. I know C has
one
on deck.
All
jar
right.
your,
Yeah, it's
jar your memory.
I think you, if you hear it, you might
I hear it
faintly. Yeah, it's back there.
I do hear it. I do hear it faintly. Yes.
I think C has that other track that.
Yeah. I the other one I believe I feel like is "Work That Body." Tanya Gardner. Love that dub. Love that dub. And then I feel an underappreciated jam that really didn't get. I'm sure amongst DJs, it's respected. I just don't feel like the people gave it enough play. Was "Let's Go Dancing." Spark with the Q. Spark with the Q.
This is one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah.
I
just feel like it really epitomizes the era for me. You know what I mean?
Takes me back to the Lower East Side and Bonds International.
Yes.
No.
Bonds International.
Wow.
Bonds International. When they used to have the two big inflatable bodies would blow up at both ends of the dance. Oh man, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, these kids have no idea of the shit that we used to see and do. They have no clue.
No idea.
Come on, man. Standing in line in the freezing fucking cold to get inside Bonds. And once you got in, the place was unbelievable. Because people forget that it was a clothing store. It was a men's clothing store.
Wow.
Huge. Oh, that place was awesome, man. Bonds International was awesome. Now, here's the thing. I remember Bonds more for its atmosphere than for the music. We basically heard the stuff that we were listening to at other clubs. So it wasn't like, oh, they only playing this at Bonds. But it was more the club itself, the atmosphere, the light show that they had going on, and the inflatable bodies and all that. So I think that's what I remember Bonds more for than I do for the music. You know what I mean? But this song, you're right, Max. This song does spark memories of Bonds International.
Yeah, it does. That's who did that? Who did that remix on there or the dub on there? Do we know who?
I don't recall.
I don't know. I know the original group was Spark.
It was Spark. It was Spark. I mean, when you talked about here music, the Francois K mix.
Yeah, the Kevorkian joint. Yeah, that was
but the Spark, I play the original. I play the original mix.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. But it's just I don't really think it was appreciated as much as it should have been. It's really a good jam.
Yeah,
you know that conga in there that's banging. That shit is hot.
It does take me back.
Yeah, exactly.
You brought up a few DJs already. If you could bring back any house DJ from back in the day for a live set, who would that be?
Bring back or
bring back?
Okay.
Bring back.
So obviously they're no longer with us.
Yes.
David. It's got to be David for me. It's got to be David. I'd love to bring back Larry too. You know, if I can bring back people. If bringing back people was my ability.
If you had that talent, you would bring them both.
If I had that ability to just bring people back from things, I would bring back everybody. But if I only had one for me right now, it would probably be David. You know, just it's just the way he made me feel with his style of DJing. It just can't be matched for me. You know what I mean? Like I always tell the story. You remember Vinyl Mania was like, you know, across the street basically from the garage. So, you know, as soon as you heard something, you like go over there and like, y'all got to get it. You know, I got to have that. So Larry played this one song, Rude Movements. And I love Rude Movements. And I heard it at the garage, but it just plays differently for me when I hear it at the loft. You know what I mean?
Yes.
they're not playing any different versions. You know what I mean? They're playing the exact same versions, but it just hit me differently at the Loft. So I said previously I heard it at the garage, but I heard it at the Loft. I go to Vinyl Mania to get it. I don't know the name of it. I couldn't peep over the DJ stand. You know how you used to, David would play some shit. You try to like, what the fuck's that? Right? You know what I'm saying? I really couldn't see it to like find out the name of it. So I go to Vinyl Mania and I go to my man, and that dude was a genius. I feel bad that I don't know his name, but he's famous because Vinyl Mania is famous. You know what I mean? So, but I go to him and I go, hey man, you got this jam? I heard it at the Loft last week, and he was like, oh, you gotta give me more than that. I go, well, I think David played it around 3:30, 4 o'clock. I was just coming off my shit. You know what I mean? I was just coming down, and he put this shit on, and it moved me. And he's like, what time? I said, it must have been like 3:30, 4. I guess the sun was getting ready to come up, so it might have been a little later. He went, oh, okay. Flips through his shit, pulls a fucking record out, puts it on the turntable, puts it on, and it's the fucking song. I'm like, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
It's the fucking song. I'm like, yeah, that's it. He's like, yeah. Like, like matter of factly, yeah. Of course that's it. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
better than Shazam.
Better than Shazam.
And all I gave this guy was a time and how I was feeling.
Not even a melody. Not a melody, not a vocal.
Right. You
not a
feel
word.
What I'm saying? All I told him was a time and how it made me feel. And he pulled that fucking song out. That's what I mean about David. People get it. You know what I'm saying? Where I don't have to. It went da 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 da. I didn't have to do that shit. I told him what time it was and how I felt, and he knew the fucking song.
I can't wait for your set next week.
You feel me? What genre of music can you do that with? You can't. You can't. That's why this shit is so powerful to me.
I put it in the chat the other night. What is house? Or house is, and I appreciated your response because you said it very succinctly. One word: life.
Right. For me, there's no other answer.
Could not have said it.
Your question was beautiful. I was like, finally, somebody's asking the right questions on the chat. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, yeah. What is house to you?
I can't remember what track I was playing at that time, but that's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt.
Exactly. And my answer was exactly what I felt.
Exactly. It was exactly what I wanted to hear. So it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect.
Right. House is life to me.
Is life.
Yeah, man.
Life. You mentioned you got your music at Vinyl Mania. Where do you get your music from now, and what's the process like to prepare for your sets?
I'm part of that new generation. Digital. Like I said, 4,000 tracks a week come out. Ain't got time to go to the record store no more. The old days we went to the record store, we dig through the crates. You handed it to the resident guy in the store and put this on. Let me hear this shit. Ain't got that kind of time.
4, 5, 6 hours at the record store.
Right. I'm first of all, I'm too old. Too old to spend that kind of time. I can't do that no more, bro. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, yes. Now, no. So yeah, I'm part of that digital age. I mean, which I'm kind of grateful for. It allows me more access that way. I can see 100 tunes at a time and listen to a couple and see how I feel about them and stuff. So yeah, mostly I get my stuff. I'm in a record pool and I get most of my stuff digitally now. But back in the day, I'm like, like we all did. Just went to the record store, tick, 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 through the fucking crates.
Yeah, man.
Hope you pull out a gem.
Yeah.
Now I'm online, hoping I pull a gem. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And
And that goes back to that question. There's so much content out there that there are definitely tracks that will resonate, right? That will resonate with you. And there definitely are tracks out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, hopefully people don't stop making tracks, so they're always going to be tracks. But again, we know they're not all going to be winners, or they're not going to all appeal to us individually. Somebody might hear the same shit and be like, "Oh, I like that," and I hear it and go, nah, "It's not really moving me." You know what I mean? So that's the thing about music. It's in the eye or the ear of the beholder in that regard. But
and I think that's important.
So much stuff, man. You're gonna find something.
Yeah, and I think it's important to call that out, right? That it is all subjective, right? It is at the listener's discretion, and it's got to move the listener, because they're out of that 4,000 tracks that are coming out on a weekly basis. There's going to be something, and there's going to be a lot of nothing.
No, it's got to be something. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it got to be. 4,000 better be. It better be something in there. You know what I'm saying? There better be something in there.
A lot of fillers, huh?
A lot of fillers.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of fillers.
I work hard to try to break new music on the sets, and there's some songs that just don't land well, right? And
it just doesn't.
And that's okay.
It just doesn't. And again, I don't know if it's selfish. I don't know if it's looked upon as being selfish, but if it don't move me, I don't feel like it's gonna move nobody else. Like I said, that's kind of selfish feeling, but I feel like, I feel like I got a little bit of a knack to, like, I can listen to a song for like 2 minutes and know, oh, this is not gonna work. You know what I mean? You know, I don't need to go all the way through a song to go, oh, this is garbage. 2 minutes. If you ain't grab me in the first 2 minutes, you're not gonna grab me. I just feel like you got 4 more minutes, you're probably not gonna grab me. Because the average good tune is about 6 to 7 minutes. If it's good. If you don't grab me in the first 2, it's probably not gonna happen. But that's, like I said, it could be selfish, but that's just me. And then when I play it, you can either like it or you don't. But I always feel like if I like it, that's kind of what's more important.
Right.
And again, I get it. And I'm not trying to be selfish or nothing, but
no.
I play what I like. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it comes down to. I don't play stuff because it's a certain producer or a certain DJ made it or whatever. No. If it don't move me, I'm not playing it. Sorry.
Indeed. Indeed.
I need to be moved. I need music. I need music to make me feel like Lust does. You know what I'm saying? If you don't make me feel like that, man, I'm not playing it. And I'm not saying it's probably not good to somebody else, but it's not moving me. So
you just answered my last question before the 12 speed questions, but you in essence you're playing for yourself am I hearing that correctly?
Yes.
For the most part.
I think yes. For the most part, yes. Yeah. And here's the thing. I think all the DJs that we liked played for themselves. And we just were happy to be there and hear it. And we dug it. I mean, because you remember the whole controversy with the garage was that Larry didn't play as good on Fridays because that was straight night, and Larry was gay, so he didn't put as much into it on Fridays as he does on Saturdays. That's bullshit. Because for me, he rocked on Friday, so I was never really clear on who thought what he was playing was weak on Fridays. You know what I'm saying? Really? So now I slipped up in there on a Saturday once or twice because something I didn't get to go to the loft or I just felt like I wanted to change. So I let me slip up in the garage on a Saturday. I had a membership, so I can go whenever I want to. So I just happened to go on a Saturday, and he seemed to play the same way that he played on Friday. So I was like, but that's because people hear shit differently based on their experiences and who they are and whatever, and that's great. So that's why I say Larry played for himself, and whatever it was what it was. So I think I feel like that's how I am too now. Like, if I like it, I'm playing it. If you don't like it, sorry. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a harsh way, but I'm like, I need to do what I need to do. Yeah. I need to hear what I need to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, am I bad? Am I wrong for that, fellas?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I mean, there's
I didn't want you to talk amongst yourselves later, like, what the fuck was up with T, bro?
You're preaching to the choir, brother. You're preaching to the choir.
I mean, we are going to do that anyway, right? And post-production, but it does. But the thing about it is, and so it's a balance, right? It's a balance between what you like, but that's what draws people to want to listen to you, right? Because again, each one of us has our own style, our own flavor of what we play, and everyone that gravitates towards us, and that's why they call it a following, right? Everyone that gravitates towards us is because they like what we play and the way we play it. So I think that's important, and I love that go back to the diversity at Real House Radio. Is explicitly because of that, right? And you won't like every track that I play, and that's okay. But you'll like more than not.
But actually, I do like every track you play.
I appreciate that. I'm feeling the love. I appreciate that.
I do. I actually do like every track you
play. T, you ready for the 12 speed questions there, brother?
Oh shit! You didn't tell me there was gonna be 12 speed questions.
The 12 speed question. Ready or not, brother?
I'm not liking the feel of this already. But go.
Here we go.
Be very afraid.
Here we go.
Be afraid.
Be afraid.
Are these one-word answers?
84 King Street or 99 Prince Street?
99 Prince and Mercer, baby.
Army or Marines?
Marines. God damn it. Do or die. Forever. Hoorah.
Timmy Regisford or Tony Humphries?
Ooh, Tony Humphries.
Citi Field or Shea Stadium?
Shea
Stadium. Good man. Good man.
I named my first dog Shea, baby. Come on.
There you go.
New York or Cali?
New York, baby. Do or die for life.
Brooklyn.
Park Slope, Flatbush.
All right, Bushwick.
Spirit or Frontier?
JetBlue.
There you go.
I ain't fucking around on neither one of those, bro. Stop it.
Dave Chappelle or Richard Pryor?
Chappelle, friend of mine too, so definitely Chappelle.
Okay, we're gonna respectfully disagree on that one, but I still love both.
And I totally respect that. I mean, only because I know Dave. So
okay. All right.
Knish or Dirty Water Dog?
I take my chances with the Knish. At worst, it's stale. I don't know what that water is, bro. Hey, quick story. I used to go to school. Right across the street from where they used to park their carts at night. So I saw never do the Dirty Dog. Never. I'll take my chance with the Knish. Like I said, at most, it may be stale. But that water, there's all kind of shit floating around in that. So no, thank you. Next question.
John Starks or Patrick Ewing?
Ooh. I love Patrick, but I have to go with John for the dunk. You know, the dunk over Jordan and Pippen. And at that point, we hadn't seen anything like that from a Nick, no less. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta go with that.
And Patrick had that missed finger roll.
Yeah. Plus he let Scottie Pippen step over him after a dunk.
Yeah.
Too. I was like, oh, that's bad. That's a bad look.
That's a bad look. I'm happy he's back with the Knicks, though. I'm
happy. He's the ambassador now. So it's good. And that they did that because of Cat.
Yeah,
they need a big man for him to be able to talk to. Yeah. You know how Tom T could be a little. So he needed need that mediator. Like I need you to step in for me and the legend. So you understand that.
This is going to be part of the podcast. You know that, right?
He won't know what we're talking about. So go ahead. Nice question.
SNL or Living Color?
Ooh, damn. That is a tough one. And that's a tough one because my aunt used to work at NBC during SNL heyday. So I got to go a few times. And, I met Aykroyd and Belushi and, you know what I'm saying? So I have that kind of attachment. But from an era standpoint, in Living Color.
Jimmy Carter or Theodore Roosevelt?
Teddy. I'm going with Teddy. Bully.
Damn.
Bully. He's got the bully thing. I love that bully. Bully thing.
Oh, jam. And last but not least, brother, Big Daddy Kane or Rakim?
Oh, that's easy.
Ooh, that's easy. Rakim.
Rakim.
Oh.
And that's no disrespect.
Rakim was
Big Daddy Kane.
Ooh, he was smooth for me. Big Daddy's nice. Don't get me wrong. But when I heard Rakim, I was like, ooh, I like that smooth sound. Rakim.
And he can still,
he still can throw. Right. His
latest album over the summer was insane.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Rakim.
Yeah, Rakim. Without fail.
Ooh, am I off the hot seat? Am I officially off the hot seat?
You answered perfectly, brother.
I'm off the hot seat.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I like that. I like that speed round. I like that speed round. That's nice.
Good stuff all around.
I have to tell you, T, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure, man. Again, my honor. I'm honored. Yeah, I'm honored that you guys chose me for your first one, bro. I appreciate that.
Oh, 100%. Couldn't have done it any other way. I do want to ask if there's something that you want to share with the listeners right now, or future, what's coming up for the real one. What's coming up? I know we talked about the Mancuso dedicated set.
Yes,
but
that's
what
happening
else
this Saturday, Real House Radio, 8 p.m. Eastern. Buckle up. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. You get, follow us, please, on Mixcloud at Real House Radio _ between each. In between Real and House and Radio, of course. You also can follow us on Instagram. We're at Real House Radio 23 on Instagram. And following us on Instagram, you're not getting anything spectacular and special. You just get a listing of our week or what we're doing for the week. And, you can go there and get it. We put the link to the live show up on Instagram too. So if you don't have to scramble to find it. If you hit the link, it takes you right there. You become a follower of ours on Mixcloud. You get the alerts when we go on live anyway. But if you want to get a little quick way to get on real quick, just follow us on Instagram at Real House 23. As far as anything coming up, what's coming up is Real House Radio. We just want to grow it. We got great DJs on there. I'm talking to two of them right now. Just come and hear what we're doing. I mean, judge for yourselves. And again, as we said earlier, if you don't like it, then okay, great. But you can't say you don't like it unless you listen to it. So try listening to it and then see how you feel. I got a feeling you listen, you're going to hear something you like. You're going to hear somebody you like. You're going to hear somebody you want to gravitate toward. But you got to listen. So follow us and then let's go from there.
Appreciate you, T. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you two both for sure. For sure. You make Real House Radio. You know what I'm saying? You make it. So I appreciate you as well.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And just one piece of homework. Right now, Real House has sets that play Thursday through Saturday.
Thursday through Saturday, yes. So every now and then we'll do a special pop up. Might pop up. But generally, our schedule is Thursday through Saturday. We had a pop-up last Sunday from a guy that used to be a regular, kind of fell off. So he decided he wanted to pop in on a Sunday, and it was great to have him. I
We
hope he
did.
does it again. I hope he gets back on some regular groove. It would be nice.
It would be nice to really feel the Max Mitchell experience on a regular.
Yeah, man. Plus, he's your lead-in. See, he sets he warms the audience up for you.
Well, I can't complain though, because it's either Max or it's Jim House.
Jim House.
House. I will tell you.
Yes.
I cannot.
Before we wrap up,
Uh-huh.
and again, I did not necessarily want to point out one DJ from our group. Everybody's hot, everybody's good, but a special shout out to Jim House, just because of circumstances and things surrounding that brother. For him to put the sets together that he does, it sets a banging.
Yes.
And we all as DJs on Real House appreciate Jim House for sure. So shout out to Jim. Hopefully he's listening. Hopefully he's watching.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, my brother. Hope you well. It's same thing for you, Max. Hope everything went okay with the storm. I know the storm kind of blew through your way.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's okay.
Yeah, I got power now. That's why we're doing this.
Perfect. And Jim's in Florida as well, so hopefully he pulled through his situation as well. So pulling for both of you guys.
Indeed. Yeah. But the one point I wanted to make was, whether it's Max or whether it's Jim leading in, what they do is they get me motivated and inspired. And so by the time my set comes on at 8, I am ready to go.
I know both of them. I know. That's why Max has got to get his stuff together.
Got to get back to it. He's got to get back to it. We talked about Sundays, and I was trying to convince him to do Sundays, and we talked about Sunset Sundays. So there's an opportunity there.
Yeah. Got to share that with the program director in the future.
I'm working hard behind the scenes.
It sounds wonderful. I'm glad I'm being told about it. It sounds great.
Put the PD in the loop. Yeah, you got just loop me in. Just loop me in. I'm not going to be against it. So just loop me in. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't even recall how that name came about, but we were talking about it.
I like it. I like it. All right, Max. The gauntlet has been tossed.
The gauntlet has been tossed.
What you gonna do?
Got it. Duly noted.
All right.
Oh man, but again, T,
thank you, fellas. Yo, seriously,
yes,
thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate it. Much success with this. I hope I don't bring the ratings down already. So we'll see how it goes.
This is us sharing our stories, right? And
yes.
So Mix and Mingle, right? It's going to be more than just a podcast that will get everyone together. There will be sets out there. We will ask you to share a set with us, and we're going to post it on Mixcloud, and we'll go through all of that information as things get further along. This is our first episode. Still getting familiar with the technology, still getting familiar with everything that we want to do. But,
I'm just glad to be a part of it, man. And I'm glad to have you guys down with Real House Radio. So it's all good. It's all in the fam, bro. It's all in the fam.
All love, brother.
All love. So I'm going to close this out and just let everyone know that this was our first episode, Mix and Mingle, Origin Stories. And it really is a journey into each one of our musical history and how we got where we are today. Again, a special thank you, T, again, for joining us.
You.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
So I will tell everyone to be on the lookout. You can get the podcast wherever you get your local podcasts, and we're still working on the technology, so bear with us. But until we meet again, everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
As I like to close out my set, stay tuned. Stay tuned to Real House Radio. Stay tuned and stay groovy.
Stay groovy, brother.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.